All right, before we jump into the list, I want to be clear about one thing. There is no such thing as the perfect pistol for all seniors. And honestly, that's where a lot of YouTube videos go wrong. As we get older, the challenges aren't the same for everyone. Some people struggle with grip strength. Others deal with arthritis, shaky hands, or declining eyesight. Some can't rack a slide anymore. Some can, but only with one hand. Trying to judge all of that with a single checklist just doesn't work. So this video isn't about the best guns on paper, or what looks good in a thumbnail. It's about real, practical solutions. 6 pistols that solve different problems seniors actually face. For each one, I'm going to be upfront about what it does well, what it doesn't, and who it actually makes sense for. If you're looking for one universal answer, this probably isn't the video for you. But if you're trying to find something you can operate confidently, safely, and consistently, then let's get into it. Let's start with the option that always sparks debate, a .22. And I get it. Some people immediately tune out when they hear that caliber. But for a lot of seniors, recoil isn't a minor inconvenience. It's the thing that destroys confidence, causes flinching, and turns practice into frustration. When recoil becomes the enemy, power on paper stops mattering. The Glock 44 is chambered in .22 LR and built on a full-size Glock-style frame. Unloaded, it weighs about 6 ounces, which makes it extremely easy to hold up for extended periods without fatigue. The magazine holds 10 rounds, and the slide effort is dramatically lighter than most centerfire pistols. For seniors dealing with weak grip strength, tremors, or wrist pain, that matters more than almost anything else. From a technical standpoint, the Glock 44 uses a simple blowback system. There's no locking barrel, no heavy recoil spring fighting you. That's why recoil is almost non-existent, and follow-up shots stay controlled. It also means the gun is very forgiving during practice, long sessions without sore hands or aggravated joints. One practical detail worth mentioning is Glock's hybrid polymer and steel slide design on the 44. It keeps the reciprocating mass light while maintaining durability, which further contributes to controllability and reduces fatigue during repeated strings of fire. Now, I'm not going to pretend this is a one-size-fits-all defensive solution. Rimfire ammunition is less reliable than centerfire, and shot placement matters more. But that's exactly the point. A gun you can control, aim, and actually practice with beats a more powerful gun you're afraid to shoot. If your biggest challenge is recoil sensitivity or hand fatigue, the Glock 44 makes a strong case. If you're comfortable managing rimfire limitations and prioritize control over caliber, this is a realistic option, not a joke pick. For some seniors, the problem isn't recoil or accuracy. It's an operation. Racking a slide, clearing a malfunction, or dealing with stiff magazines can feel like unnecessary hurdles. That's where a revolver still makes a lot of sense. The Ruger LCR is a lightweight, double-action-only revolver, typically chambered in .38 Special. It weighs roughly 5 ounces unloaded, making it easy to carry and easy to hold, even for people with limited arm strength. The cylinder holds 5 rounds, and there's no slide to rack, no magazine to seat, and no external safeties to remember under stress. Mechanically, the LCR stands out because of its cammed trigger system. The trigger pull is long, as all double-action revolvers are, but it's smoother than most traditional designs. That smoothness matters for seniors who may not have the grip strength for a heavy, stacking trigger. Another overlooked advantage of the LCR is its polymer and aluminum construction, which reduces overall weight compared to traditional steel revolvers, while still absorbing enough recoil to remain controllable for short, defensive-focused practice sessions. The trade-offs are real, and they shouldn't be ignored. Reloads are slower, capacity is limited, and recoil, even in .38 Special, can feel sharper than expected due to the gun's light weight. This is not a range toy, and it's not built for volume shooting. But where the LCR shines is simplicity. You can load it, close the cylinder, and it will fire every time you pull the trigger, even if you're shooting one-handed, from an awkward position, or under stress. For seniors who value minimal manipulation and maximum reliability, that simplicity can outweigh every downside. When people talk about easy-to-rack pistols, most of the time they're really talking about lighter springs or slide serrations. The Walther CCP M2 takes a different approach. Instead of asking your hands to work harder, it changes how the gun operates in the first place. And for some seniors, that distinction matters a lot. The CCP M2 is a 9mm pistol that uses Walther's soft-coil gas-delayed blowback system. Rather than relying on a traditional locked breech design, A portion of the gas is vented under the barrel to slow the slide as it moves rearward. The practical result is twofold. The slide requires noticeably less force to rack, and recoil feels softer and more gradual. The pistol has a 3.54-inch barrel, an 8+1 round capacity, and weighs about 22 ounces unloaded, putting it squarely in the compact category. From a senior use perspective, this system does real work. Less slide resistance means fewer awkward techniques or workarounds just to chamber around. Less abrupt recoil means less wrist strain and more consistent follow-up shots, especially during longer practice sessions. This isn't about shooting faster. It's about staying comfortable enough to keep shooting accurately. That said, the CCP M2 isn't perfect, and it's important to be honest about that. Gas-delayed systems can be more sensitive to ammunition choice, and the barrel tends to heat up faster during extended strings. The pistol also includes a manual safety, which some seniors appreciate and others would rather avoid entirely. If your biggest hurdle is racking a 9mm slide without pain or frustration, the Walther CCP M2 deserves a serious look. It's not the lightest or highest capacity option here, but mechanically, it solves a very specific problem in a very deliberate way. The Shield Easy exists for one reason. Smith & Wesson acknowledged that a lot of shooters were being left behind by modern pistol design, and instead of telling people to train harder or grip stronger, they redesigned the gun around reduced hand strength. That mindset is why the Easy still stands out. The Shield Easy is available in both 380 ACP and 9mm, and both versions share the same core features. The slide is intentionally lighter to rack. The magazines include loading tabs to reduce thumb strain, and the pistol uses a grip safety rather than a traditional manual thumb safety. Capacity is 8+1 rounds, and the gun remains slim enough to handle comfortably without feeling toy-like. What I like about the Easy is that its ease of use isn't accidental. The lighter slide isn't just a convenience. It's a design priority. The magazine tabs aren't an afterthought. They're there because loading magazines is one of the most common pain points for seniors. Even the grip safety is a deliberate choice, allowing a natural firing grip to disengage the safety without requiring fine motor control. Of course, there are trade-offs. Some shooters find the grip safety unfamiliar, and others feel the pistol is slightly larger than expected for its capacity. Recoil in the 9mm version is manageable, but not class-leading, and this isn't a gun built for high-capacity scenarios. Still, as a baseline for what senior-friendly actually means, the Shield Easy sets the standard. If a pistol claims to be easy to handle and doesn't address slide force, magazine loading, and grip ergonomics the way the Easy does, it's usually just marketing. This one isn't. If you read the comments under almost any senior-focused gun video, one name keeps coming up over and over again: the Ruger Security 380. And it's not hype. It's because this pistol checks a combination of boxes that most easy-to-handle guns don't manage to hit at the same time. The Security 380 is chambered in 380 ACP and built around Ruger's light rack system. That means lighter slide springs, aggressive rear serrations, and an overall setup that genuinely reduces the effort required to chamber around. Capacity is where this pistol really separates itself. 15+1 rounds in a gun that's still compact and controllable. Unloaded weight sits around 20 ounces, which helps absorb recoil without becoming tiring to hold. From a practical standpoint, this is a big deal for seniors. Many pistols force a trade-off: easy slide but low capacity, or decent capacity but stiff operation. The Security 380 avoids that compromise. Recoil is mild, slide manipulation is manageable, and the extra rounds provide confidence for those who worry about running dry under stress. Ruger also didn't ignore real-world usability. The pistol includes a manual safety option, a light, consistent trigger pull, and magazines that are easier to load than most centerfire designs in this size class. None of these features are flashy, but together they reduce strain and frustration. That doesn't mean it's perfect. The trigger won't impress competition shooters, and the gun isn't as slim as single-stack designs like the Shield Easy. But that added size contributes directly to shootability, which matters more here than concealment elegance. If you want a senior-friendly pistol that balances easy operation, low recoil, and real capacity without gimmicks, the Ruger Security 380 earns its spot near the top of this list. The reason the Smith Wesson Equalizer takes the top spot isn't because it's the lightest, softest shooting, or simplest gun on this list. It's because it's the one that adapts best as your needs change over time. And for seniors, that matters more than almost any single feature. The Equalizer is a 9mm pistol built on the same easy-to-rack philosophy as the Shield EZ, but expanded into a more flexible platform. It ships with 10, 13, and 15-round magazines, giving you options depending on grip comfort and capacity preference. The slide is easy to manipulate. The grip texture is secure without being abrasive, and the trigger is consistent and predictable. Unloaded weight is around 23 ounces, striking a balance between control and comfort. What really sets the Equalizer apart is its optics-ready design. Aging eyes are one of the most common challenges seniors face, and a red dot can dramatically reduce the difficulty of target acquisition. Instead of aligning iron sights, you focus on a single point. That's not a performance upgrade. It's an accessibility upgrade. This pistol also avoids forcing you into a single configuration. You can start with iron sights, add an optic later, change magazine sizes, and adjust how the gun fits your hands as arthritis or strength limitations evolve. Very few pistols in this category offer that kind of long-term flexibility. Is it the smallest or softest option here? No, but it's the most future-proof. And for a senior looking for a handgun that grows with them instead of working against them, the Smith & Wesson Equalizer earns its place at number 1. Before we wrap this up, I want to say one simple thing. If you saw yourself in any of these categories, weak grip, joint pain, recoil sensitivity, vision issues, you're not behind, and you're not doing anything wrong. You're just dealing with realities that modern gun design hasn't always respected. Every pistol in this list earns its place for a different reason. Some make recoil manageable. Some remove unnecessary manipulation. Some give you room to adapt as your hands or eyes change. The goal here isn't to tell you what to buy. It's to help you narrow the field so you can make a choice that actually works for you. Not just on paper, but when you're tired, stressed, or having a bad day. If this video helped you think more clearly about what you actually need, hit the like button. It really does help the channel, and if you're a senior shooter, or you're helping one choose their first or next handgun, consider subscribing. More content like this is on the way. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.